garlic.com/free.
A military court in Congo sentenced 37 people, including 3 Americans, to death after convicting them of taking part in an attempted coup back in May. The defendants have 5 days to appeal.
We understand that the legal process in the DRC allows for defendants to appeal the court's decision. Embassy staff have been attending these proceedings as they've gone through the process so far. We'll continue to attend the proceedings and follow the developments closely.
State Department spokesman Matthew Miller. One kind of cold cut at the center of a widespread listeria outbreak is being discontinued.
Boar's Head liverwurst and several other deli meats haven't been on store shelves for weeks. They were pulled following this year's deadly listeria outbreak. Food safety inspectors cited numerous problems with a Virginia plant where liverwurst was made, including leaky pipes and black mold. And now that plant is being closed indefinitely. The move will affect 500 Boar's Head employees who will either be let go or be moved to other facilities. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Walgreens has agreed to pay almost $107 million to resolve charges that it took tens of millions of dollars from Medicare, Medicaid, and other federal health care programs for prescriptions that were never delivered and then resold the same medications. Justice Department says between 2009 and 2020, the pharmacy chain restocked prescriptions that were paid for but never picked up and didn't refund the money. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
My doctor told me my blood pressure is borderline. I figured I could worry about it or do something about it. So I took control with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula. It works safely and naturally to help maintain healthy blood pressure with a custom blend of garlic, vitamins, and minerals. And it's odor-free. I'm taking charge with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KVNU.
I'm Bill Walter, KVNU News. News brought to you by Cardalls. Members of the community joined local firefighters Wednesday night in remembering the emergency responders and others who lost their lives on September 11th, 2001. A group of more than 200 ran up and down the stairs inside the football stadium at Utah State University. Logan City Fire Battalion Chief John Cox said there is some symbolism with USU's football stadium that is a reminder of 9/11. There are approximately 2,071 stairs above Merlin Olsen Field, which was the same number inside the Twin Towers.
They estimate that the fire and police saved around 25,000 people. They don't know for sure, but they helped in saving 25,000 people, which this stadium holds 25,504 or something like that, just over 25,000 people. And so that symbolism was really neat. Think about this stadium being completely filled with people, and that's how many they were able to save.
Local firefighters have been climbing the stairs in the stadium and the Spectrum for decades. However, after the terrorist attacks 23 years ago, the training exercise became more reverential. There were a total of 403 first responders killed on 9/11, 343 firefighters, and 60 police officers. Each participant in Wednesday night's memorial was given a small card with the name and photo of one of the first responders who died.
We wanted it to mean something, to realize these were actual people with families and loved ones. And so that's some more of the symbol, the symbols that we try to get these guys to experience.
The participants were sent out in groups or companies. They started in the far northeast corner of the stadium, climbing up and down each flight of stairs. At the end, they rang a bell, similar to the bells that are rung when a firefighter dies. The trial of a man charged in the fatal stabbings of 4 University of Idaho students will be in Boise, roughly 300 miles from where the crimes occurred. The Idaho Supreme Court announced the venue change on Thursday. The court's order appointing a new judge and transferring the trial set for June 2025 comes in response to a ruling from 2nd District Judge John Judge, who said extensive media coverage of the case, the spreading of misinformation on social media, and statements by public officials made it doubtful that Bryan Kohberger could receive a fair trial in the university town of Moscow, Idaho. Kohberger faces 4 counts of murder in the deaths and Prosecutors have said they intend to seek the death penalty if he is convicted. The 4 University of Idaho students were killed sometime in the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022, in a rental house near campus. And Judge Diana Gibson ordered Utah's proposed Amendment D to give lawmakers the power to dramatically change initiatives passed by voters void on Thursday morning, but the proposal may still be on ballots this November. If you vote for or against Amendment D, your vote will not be counted per the judge's order. The court decision comes a day after a lawyer for the League of Women Voters urged a preliminary injunction because of misleading amendment language, specifically that the amendment strengthens the initiative process in the state. An attorney for the legislature said the wording was accurate. Ryan Bell with the group Better Boundary said amending the founding document should never be shrouded with misleading language and rushed in this fashion. Utahns overwhelmingly want and deserve a proper balance of power in state government, and the court agreed. And KBNU weather for tonight, clear skies and the overnight low in the mid-40s, sunny into the low 80s on Saturday, lower 80s around 83 on Sunday. Congratulations to Kelly Clark, the NICU nurse at Intermountain Logan Regional Hospital, our latest Above and Beyond Salute winner from Firehouse Subs. To say thanks, we gave her a $40 gift card to Firehouse Subs. Submit your nominations for the Above and Beyond Salute by visiting kbnutalk.com. And for the latest news, visit cachevalleydaily.com.
Hey, radio listeners, before we get you back to the music, let me tell you real quick about what I did that is saving me a lot of money. I got new insulation in my house. That's right. Now, I know you're thinking, boring, but have you seen the reports lately about how better insulation can save a ton of money on your energy bills? I can tell you it made a huge difference in my home. I mean, not only does the temperature stay perfect, but my energy bill is definitely down. Do what I did. Call Cardall's Insulation, 755-5012. That's 755-5012 for Cardall's Insulation.
Breaking news and stimulating talk. KVNU 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
Here's what some of our patients have to say about how Red River has changed their lives.
So before I started at Red River, I was having a lot of stomach pain. I was overweight, severe anxiety. I had been to multiple doctors. We had done tests and no one could find anything that was wrong. And then a friend mentioned Red River and I went and saw him, and it has changed my whole life. I'm sleeping through the night. I have energy for my kids. I've lost 30 pounds. No more stomach pains. I just feel really good.
Our goal is to focus on imbalances that are driving your condition or symptoms, not just give you Band-Aid answers. So when a patient comes to our office, we'll sit down with them extensively and go over their blood work to find out the underlying imbalances driving their symptoms.
Call Red River Health and Wellness at 855-55-RIVER with offices in Logan, South Jordan, Springville, and St. George.
Call Red River today.
Trust this kid any further than I can throw him.
Well, with your bad knee, Ed, you shouldn't throw anybody.
Well, let the great experiment begin!
Andy, do you know what I realized during the break?
That
there are no good fall songs. There's a lot of summer songs, a lot of songs with summer in the title, but there are no, like, what's a fall song? What's fall music? What is
September by Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Oh.
But you can only play that on one certain day.
Yeah, that we saved that one for.
We save it for that one day.
I can't burn Bill's favorite joke.
What about there's something that sound fall-ish, like Carolina on My Mind by James Taylor.
Yeah. I was trying to find something that sounded fallish or had fallen. Yeah, that's weird.
Is there a song by Backstreet Boys
like
winter
music?
Pumpkin Pie Sweater Weather or something like that?
There is Sweater Weather.
Oh, who sings that? I already know I'm not going to like it.
I can't remember the title. It was a TikTok meme for a while. Anyway, fall movie preview.
Fall movie preview.
There's a lot, and I don't want to jump.
What do you want to talk about?
I just pulled up. I was looking to see what was new today because I forgot Beetlejuice.
Actually, can I ask you a question? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I want to ask you one question.
Okay.
Before we start into fall, Just one question. You don't have to. Doesn't have to be even. You can even just say the name. We don't have to talk about it.
Okay.
What was your favorite movie this summer?
Ooh, this summer?
Yeah.
Huh.
What if I had said summer 2019? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm so caught off guard by this. I'm trying to remember what I saw this year.
I already know what it is. Just kidding.
I think it was probably Furiosa.
Nice. Okay.
Just because, I mean, I'm not saying, I don't think that's the best movie I saw this summer. That's the most fun I had in a theater this summer was Furiosa. The Mad Max movie, yeah.
Okay.
That was just that was a really fun movie. Looked so cool.
I think mine is.
But it wasn't the best movie I saw. I'll have to think about that for a while.
Yeah, I mean, there's those are different. I think for me, my two favorite movies of the summer, I can't believe I'm going to say this, were, well, Alien Romulus I really looked forward to, and it paid off. To me, that was probably, that and Deadpool were probably my favorite. But I would give I would also put Inside Out too in that conversation.
Really?
That was just so unexpected for me. I mean, I enjoyed the first one, but when you bring a movie back 9 years later, like, do you really think that it's going to have the land, or is it going to have like kind of the Cars 2 effect?
Yeah.
When you're like, oh,
that was, yeah.
And it did.
I hope you stopped doing
it.
This.
Was actually better. It was actually better in my opinion than the first one. So I know some people would argue that, but
yeah.
To your point, there are a lot of things, and I think you were going to go this way. There are a few things that are, I think, major releases that aren't here in the Valley.
I want to add that. I feel like the best movie I've seen hasn't hit theaters yet.
That's probably true.
I have a really good feeling about. So again, the most fun I had was. Deadpool,
you know what?
Deadpool 3's right up there.
I can't. I forgot to say Long Legs. That's another one.
Oh, that movie.
Did you finally see it?
I missed it in theaters. I saw it on a streaming service, and I'm usually okay. I'm kind of a wimp about horror movies. I will squint my eyes in some scenes in a horror movie in the theater, but there's something about being at home on a streaming service that it doesn't bother me as much. And
you should make that a job.
I squinted my the older lady with the. I can't spoil anything.
It's okay.
I forgot to wear my long legs. Well,
and it's weird because
that is so creepy.
People made the comparisons to that and Silence of the Lambs, and if you think about it, remember Buffalo Bill and Silence of the Lambs? His thing was he was making, and I'm sorry, like a skin suit. You know what I mean? That was his thing. In Long Legs, Nicolas Cage thing is he's really almost just kind of dressed up like a doll.
Yeah, and it's
powdery, But when
I don't know why that creeped me out so bad, but it was just.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah, it was just so unnerving.
It is unnerving.
And yeah, that was, I think, as horror movies go.
Any scene where somebody is inside their house and they hear a noise and they go outside of their house, and then the camera pans back, and when you're watching the person like investigating in their yard, and then you see the person in the house.
Yeah,
I'm like, pass. That's just creepy.
I think there are these. We should do this one day. We should do a best scenes in horror movies.
Oh yeah,
because there's.
I actually did that several years ago on Andy the Movies. I think it's still up there, but it was it was
because there's
scariest movie scenes.
There are some not so great horror movies that have the best. Jeepers Creepers with I forgot his name. He was kind of an it thing for a while. The actor, he was very young in that one, and then Justin Long. Mm-hmm. He kind of disappeared now. I don't know what happened to him, but he was in everything.
He got murdered in Barbarian.
That's right. He was actually brutally murdered in Barbarian. That was another good horror movie.
I think that might have been a real show.
But I've heard from him for a while. We should check into that. But was that a documentary? But that one was creepy too. But in Jeepers Creepers, there's a scene. The whole movie is kind of bad, but I mean it's good as a great.
It's
setup.
Creepy. It's got some creepy scenes.
It's pretty creepy, and then it just has this schlocky ending anyway. And don't see any of the sequels, mainly because it came out after that first one. The director is kind of a creeper, and once you know that the movies,
we should save this for Halloween because I think this, to your point, this would be a good extended movie show because we have. I mean. Everyone has a scene that creeps them out, even if it's not something like the whole movie creeps them out.
For me, it's the porch scene. They're asking, these two kids are being hunted by something. You know this at this point in Jeepers Creepers. And then they go to this house in a cornfield, of course, and they knock on the door and they're like, hey, can we use your phone? And this old lady comes out and she's like, I don't have a phone. And they're like, oh, okay, never mind, I guess.
You can borrow my pager.
Yeah, she basically says, you can go down the road, such and such place. They have a phone, etc. And then she just stops talking and looks off into the cornfield. And then she turns back to the kids and just calmly says, what did you kids bring into my yard? And they're very confused, obviously, by this statement. And as she's backing into the house and closing the door on them, she just quietly says, that's not my scarecrow. And then she closes the door. It's the creepiest scene in an otherwise, kind of maybe B movie.
That is the worst.
Longlegs was like that for me.
Yeah.
Longlegs just... And so back to what I was saying, I feel like there's a couple of those coming up. Not horror movies per se, but there's a couple of movies coming up in fall movie season that I think have the potential to be the best movie I saw this year.
I saw a trailer today. This is going way far out. This is January, but I love Leigh Whannell. Leigh Whannell was part of like the James Wan crew. He wrote all the Insidious movies, co-wrote, The Conjuring, stuff like that.
Starred in and co-wrote the original Saw.
Yes, and then he
cut his own leg off.
His solo projects since then have
Spoiler alert.
He did Invisible Man with Elizabeth Moss. It was a pre-COVID movie that was really great. He also did, I can't think of what it's called, but it's it's the show with can't think of the guy's name, the actor. I'll look it up during the break, but he gets like an upgrade. Oh, that's what it's called.
Oh yeah, it was called Upgrade.
I can't believe I just said
that was really good for one that I thought was a
that was him as well. So anyway, but yeah, he's doing Wolfman, and when my first thought was like, ugh, because I think of Wolfman, and it's not my favorite character.
Yeah.
And I think of like the Benicio del Toro, Anthony Hopkins Wolfman movie, which isn't terrible. It does have some scary moments, but for the most part, it's kind of corny.
Remember Jack Nicholson?
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't it just Wolf?
Yeah.
Oh, there's another one. Oh, no, that's Wolves.
Well, actually, this is a
Wolf's
good segue.
hitting Apple TV with George Clooney and Brad Pitt.
That's not a werewolf movie,
No,
though.
it's just called Wolves.
But it is Wolves. Here's a movie, though. Speaking of scary movies, there's one that's actually releasing today. I think you can see it in a megaplex down south, like if you head down to Salt Lake. It's called The Front Room. This is like a psychological, it almost feels like Get Out, but it's Brandy, the former child singer star, TV star Brandy, is one of the, and it's an A24 movie. So I don't think that's not insignificant. Another movie is opening today, speaking of fall movie preview, that is streaming on Netflix that you can see that I actually think looks kind of good. It's called Rebel Ridge.
Yeah, this looks interesting.
It does look good.
And I'm saying that as someone who is kind of written off Netflix recently for their original. They haven't really been knocking it out of the park.
No, sometimes it doesn't.
With the series they have, but their movies have not.
Yeah. Another movie that's coming out, it's in limited release, so you'll probably see this more, unfortunately, probably around award season. But there's a movie called His Three Daughters. And it's about kind of, I want to say like three estranged daughters who come together at the end of their dad's life.
Yeah.
And just try to arrange affairs and who takes care of dad and all that kind of stuff. It premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival and it just got rave reviews. But it stars Carrie Coon, Natasha Lyonne, and Elizabeth Olsen. Natasha Lyonne is probably more famous. She's in that TV series Russian Doll, but she's also in... She was in the American Pie movies. Carrie Coon is one of the protagonists in the new Ghostbusters franchise with Paul Rudd. She plays Spengler's daughter. And then, obviously, Elizabeth Olsen, everyone knows, is Scarlet Witch. But that's getting good reviews. Next week, there's a movie that comes out. I don't know if it's, again, if this is going to be one that sees the light of day in Cache Valley, but it's called, it has... Aubrey Plaza in it. It's an interesting, like, kind of time.
I saw something on this.
Yeah, there's trailers out there where it's like the younger version of herself is talking.
Okay.
With the older version, I don't know how that's going to do. My guess is that's just going to, yeah. And then
I did see that trailer.
Next week is also Speak No Evil. You mentioned that with James McAvoy. That's a Blumhouse horror movie. There's another one called A Different Man. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for this. This is later this month on September 20th. Again, awards type movie. It's Sebastian Stan, who I actually think Sebastian Stan is positioning himself to kind of take another leap in his career. He's Bucky in the Captain America movies, and what is the guy with the iron arm? What is he when he?
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier, you're right.
I wanted to say Winter Snowman.
Yeah.
But that's combining two different jokes.
No, and A Different Man
lore.
is it's called, and I'm going to use their words, a psychosexual thriller. And Sebastian Stan plays this man that has neurofibromatosis, which gives him this disfigurement, who he becomes fixated with this actor playing him in a play based on his life.
Okay.
And that was at Sundance last year, and people came out of that saying like this is like going to jettison him into like movie stardom. And we know that Sebastian Stan has been in the news this week because he's also playing Donald Trump in the movie The Apprentice that the Trump campaign tried to.
I was surprised that he was the choice to play him.
If you look at him in the trailer with his hair, he kind of. It's just the hair. He does the hair like Donald way, and it looks like, you know what I mean? He kind of looks like Donald Trump.
Yeah, and I guess where he's playing a younger Trump, but I can kind of see it.
Another movie,
is he in the new Captain America that's coming next year?
Yes, I believe so.
He's in that? Okay.
Yeah, and he's in the Thunderbolts as well.
Oh, yeah.
There's another movie that comes out. Again, we're talking, this is the week of September 20th. It's called The Substance. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for this. This looks like kind of like one of those David Cronenberg body horror movies.
Yeah.
It's
where the trailer looks scary and then you go see it and it's just weird.
Well, and it's Demi Moore and Demi Moore.
Did you ever see Bug?
Yeah.
Cronenberg.
Yeah.
It's best trailer ever.
And we talked about the one last year with Viggo Mortensen and
another one where the trailer looked great and then the movie was just
I don't know.
It's almost insulting.
But I think that
when you sit down
I think you're going to see some people starting to make a resurgence in their career, and Demi Moore is one of them.
Really?
I do think she's going to get some kudos for this movie, The Substance. But again, this is kind of a horror fantasy show. And just seeing Demi Moore in this type of movie in her acting comeback is very interesting.
Yeah. Because her only other horror movie is from the 80s, right? That Seventh Sign.
Yep.
Does she do any other horror other than that? I don't think so.
Yeah, not really, unless you consider Ghost a horror movie, which some do.
That's good point. It's scary in ways.
We round out.
Where are you cutting off fall movie season again?
I usually cut it off like right around beginning of November.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean some of this stuff, like like there's a movie at the end of September as we get closer into October called Azrael, which is horror veteran Samara Weaving, right? She's in like My Teenage Babysitter, those zombie My Babysitter's a Zombie or whatever.
Yeah.
Or I think she was in that. What was the movie where she was in it and she was like playing hide and seek in a house, and that it was like a gaming family that.
Oh, that was a good.
That was a really good movie.
What was that movie? It wasn't called Hide and Seek.
I think it was probably called Hide and Seek, and we're just being silly.
Let's see. I'm gonna and they're spoiler alert. It's a rich family that they do this to somebody like once a year or something like that for fun.
And then to your point, there are a couple other big movies coming out at the end of September.
Ready or Not.
Oh, see?
Yeah, it was called Ready or Not. That was a good movie. I'm glad you reminded me of that. Let's take our break while you're getting your whatever.
I'm just so sad.
Stuck in your craw. Out of your craw.
I think it's a lime.
So, Andy gets that lime out of his craw. We'll take our first break here. The fall movie preview with Andy Morgan, and a lot more to talk about. How Beetlejuice is faring as one of the most anticipated and skepticism-inducing premieres of the fall movie season, which we're kind of officially into now, post-Labor Day. but also what's coming up this fall that you should watch out for. Part 2 today of our fall movie preview continues with Andy Morgan here on the For the People movie show right after this.
This Saturday on Merlin Olsen Field, two old foes get back together and renew a rivalry. A long-standing competition originating back to 1892. Utah versus Utah State, and the Battle of the Brothers will be commemorated with a special one-of-a-kind navy blue shirt featuring both teams' helmets and available now at Locker 42. Locker 42, here to have you game day ready with an impressive selection of Aggie hats, hoodies, shirts, and jackets. Locker 42, always ready for game day.
Hey, thrill seekers, we know you love your toys. From boats to dirt bikes, your adventures are what keep life exciting and risky. Every adventure comes with the risk of unexpected disasters. This is Matt Robbins with Quality First Insurance, an Alera Group company. As an independent auto owner's insurance agency, we understand the risks you face. Our agents will ensure you get the coverage that suits your unique needs. Keep the thrill alive and worry-free by calling Quality First today, 435-752-0101.
There is no place like home, and there's no better place to spruce up your home than with great remodeling ideas at the Logan Home Show. Here this weekend at the Cache County Event Center. From home automation, security, and remodeling and design, the Logan Home Show has what you need, and they have it all under one roof. This weekend at the Cache County Event Center. Free admission and parking. See more online at LoganHomeshow.com. That's LoganHomeshow.com. We'll see you there. This Saturday before the football game, bring your appetite to the annual Ag Day Barbecue from 11:30 to 2 at Craig Aston Park in Logan. Enjoy this delicious feast, and the proceeds help fund the CAAS student scholarships. Buy tickets at the gate or online at agbbq.usu.edu. The Utah Department of Agriculture and Food and Utah Zone proud to sponsor this year's Ag Day Barbecue. Saturday at Craig Aston Park. Buy tickets now at agbbq.usu.edu or Google Ag Day Barbecue USU.
Can't believe Grandpa's dead. Death is hard.
Yeah, sometimes I think life is harder.
When I was a teenager, a trickster demon terrorized our entire family and tried to force me to marry him. I believed he was gone forever until you found this in the attic.
Ew. Who's Beetlejuice?
Don't ever say that name.
Beetlejuice.
No, Astrid! I am serious! If you say his name 3 times, he will appear.
Beetlejuice.
The juice is loose.
Welcome back to KVN News for the People. That is Michael Keaton reprising his famous role from 80s Tim Burton hit Beetlejuice in Beetlejuice in theaters here in Logan, playing at both the University and Providence theaters. And so far, box office haul at least, audiences are loving it. Everyone was nervous about this one. The 80s movie, it was so campy and so very Tim Burton that there was a big question as to whether this would work, whether audiences wanted to see this and would see this. So far, again, box office alone at least, the answer is yes. But there are others to see. The Killer's Game with Dave Bautista, Scott Adkins, and Ben Kingsley. This is a thriller about a killer who is being hunted by killers, and it is supposedly kind of funny, but also gruesomely violent. Rated R. James McAvoy in Speak No Evil, also rated R. This is a Blumhouse horror movie from the writer and producer of The Invisible Man. And also in theaters, Blake Lively in It Ends With Us, PG-13. That is in theaters. Matt Walsh, a conservative activist who was behind the movie What Is a Woman? These are movies that are like a a conservative version of Borat, kind of. He dresses up as fake people. He was at the DNC in this costume, if you will, a wig and a fake beard. It's what Matt Walsh does. He's a content creator, basically, but he has made a movie called Am I a Racist? That is in theaters here in Logan as well. And finally, from previous opening weekends, you can still get out and see, if you are so inclined, I was wrong. I just refreshed the page, and it is gone. That is it. Those are your choices here in Logan this weekend. So if I had to choose, I'd choose between It Ends With Us or Beetlejuice. And if that isn't something that wets my whistle, I'd probably look to the streaming services to see what is coming up. So, by the way, coming up, as we've discussed already on the fall movie preview here with Andy, we have the Joker, Part 2, or Folie 2 is actually what they're calling it. And the animated Transformers 1, that is September 20th. We haven't talked about that yet. We did talk about this a little bit, and will a bit more here on the other side of the news. Lupita Nyong'o voicing a character in the animated The Wild Robot, which actually looks really cool, just animation-wise. I don't know much about the plot or the story, but it does look extremely cool to see, at least. And then after that, a foreign film that actually will be hitting theaters here in Utah called I Am Still. This is a worldwide cinema event, but it was a worldwide hit, and it actually will be hitting theaters here in Utah alongside a movie called Average Joe, that is about a football player who becomes a politician. So, also coming up, something to keep an eye on, Megaplex theaters are going to be running kind of a biopic documentary on Christopher Reeve, most famous for his role as Superman. And the movie is actually called, this is coming up September 21st, and this is a one-weekend run. I'm not sure if it'll be here in Logan, but I know it is on the website for the Ogden Junction Megaplex. But it is called Super/Man, the Christopher Reeve story. That is coming up September 21st, rated PG-13. And there you have it, some that we haven't talked about yet. We'll get back to it, digging into the fall movie season, part 2 of our fall movie season preview here on For the People. And we'll get back to it with Andy Morgan in the studio right after the news with KVNU's Bill Walter.
Thank you, Jason. KVNU News is brought to you by Canyon Landscaping. Campbell's held an event on Thursday to show off their new $160 million goldfish cracker maker. The new cracker line will produce more than 5 million goldfish an hour, or 1,500 goldfish every second. The company is part of the Campbell's snack division of the Campbell's Company. A.J. Heiner, Senior Director of Site Operations, said the plant just celebrated the cracker and cookie maker being in Richmond for 50 years. They have 450 employees in Cache Valley at their Richmond plant and distribution centers. The $160 million investment to the Richmond facility is the largest investment in rural Utah. Heiner praised the employees for their efforts in producing goldfish and other cookies at the facility. Heiner said goldfish is the #1 snack for teens in America. Chris Foley, president of Campbell's Snacks, said the Richmond investment was the brand's biggest investment the company has made. Richmond Mayor Paul Erickson said he appreciated the business relationship the city and county have with Campbell's, formerly known as Pepperidge Farms. And organizers have revealed the top 3 finalist cities for the new home of the Sundance Film Festival. Members of the Sundance Institute announced Thursday that the new location for the festival has been narrowed down to Boulder, Colorado, Cincinnati, Ohio, and its current home, Salt Lake City, Park City, Utah. The festival will continue its run in Park City through 2026. Its move to a new host city would take place in 2027. Festival organizers aim to find a sustainable home for the festival. They are considering several factors in choosing a new host city, including culture, inclusivity, infrastructure, capabilities, and the potential to inspire future filmmakers. KVNU weather brought to you by Roof Rescue, dedicated to keeping your home safe and dry from minor repairs to complete roof replacement. Celebrating 10 years of providing watertight peace of mind. Call 435-999-4268 or go to roofrescueusa.com. Looking at tonight, mostly clear skies, low temperature in the mid-40s, and then sunny, low 80s on Saturday, sunny and around 83 on Sunday. Get more news at cachevalleydaily.com.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson, talking about helping Ukraine and what to do about the Gaza war. President Biden and British Prime Minister Keir Starmer at the White House. Whether there should be more support for Ukraine going after targets inside Russia is one issue. The U.S. military has confirmed that 4 ISIS leaders were killed in a U.S.-led raid about 2 weeks ago in western Iraq. Asked about whether the administration's in touch with Boeing and its striking machinists, Presidential Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre.
Administration officials are indeed in touch with Boeing and the machinist, so we encourage them to negotiate in good faith.
Threats on the increase in Springfield, Ohio, bomb threats at schools and government buildings and homes of city officials following Donald Trump's debate claim that Haitian immigrants were grabbing and eating people's pets, dogs and cats, and ducks and geese from parks. Totally debunked by city officials. Wall Street indexes closed out their best week of the year. This is ABC News.
Fall is the perfect time to landscape, and Canyon Landscaping is ready to build or transform your outdoor space. They bring your vision to life with expert care, including installing beautiful planting beds and crafting custom paver patios. They handle your entire project from start to finish, and they have the team to get the design just right. But hurry, spots are filling up fast. Visit canyonlandscaping.com or call 752-3838 today. Let's make your outdoor space a true extension of your home. Call Canyon Landscaping. Look for the leaf.
Make plans to attend the 3rd Annual Northern Utah Manufacturing Excellence Conference on Wednesday, October 9th. Collaborate with manufacturing leaders and resource experts. Enjoy lunch and a keynote from Paul Nelson, who leads engineering digital transformation for the space system sector at Northrop Grumman. When we strengthen Utah manufacturing, we strengthen Utah's economy. Register today for the annual New Me Conference on October 9th from 8 to 1 at the Cache County Event Center at cashchamber.com. That's cashchamber.com.
Utah's at a crossroads. The surging economy of the last decade is not today's reality. Cache Valley is feeling the effects of rising housing costs, stagnant wages, and skyrocketing energy prices. This is not acceptable, and I know we can do better. I'm Jason Thompson, and as a successful business owner, proven job creator, and experienced city mayor, I know what it takes to ensure that Utah is heading in the right direction. But I can't do it alone. I need your vote this November. At electjasonthompson.com, learn how together we can keep Utah heading in the right direction.
Paid for by the Committee to Elect Jason Thompson.
Overwhelmed by Social Security and Medicare options? October 2nd at 6 p.m. Adams Wealth Advisors and Senior Benefits Insurance Services invite you to a free seminar that'll simplify these crucial decisions. Experts Jaden May, National Social Security Advisor, and Sherry Crosby, licensed Medicare agent, will help optimize your Social Security benefits and help guide you through Medicare options and costs. October 2nd, 6 p.m. Come learn your options with Social Security and Medicare. Go to adamswealthadvisors.com/SS to reserve your spot today. Understanding your options makes all the difference.
Does your dryer take longer to dry your clothes? It might be time to clean your dryer vent. Having a clean dryer vent shortens your drying time, increases the lifespan of your dryer, and decreases your risk of a house fire. Call a Logan-based business, The Duct Hunter, at 435-770-4813 for a quote and to schedule an appointment.
We are the Duct Hunter. Breathe better, save money, protect your home. We are the Duct Hunter.
Hey, Cache Valley, it's Bo Peterson with Steel Coated Epoxy Floors, and we're thrilled to announce that we've been voted the best in Northern Utah once again. As Cache Valley's premier coating professionals, we have the knowledge and the experience to completely transform your concrete. From garages and shops to porches and patios, we coat it all. And with fall and winter right around the corner, it's time to get your concrete protected. Contact us today at scfcachevalley.com. That's scfcachevalley.com. Steel Coated Epoxy Floors. Do it once, do it right.
I saw Wedding Crashers accidentally. I bought a ticket for Grizzly Man and went into the wrong theater. After an hour, I figured I was in the wrong theater, but I kept waiting. That's the thing about bear attacks. They come when you least expect it.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. Hour 2 of today's show. I'm Jason Williams. And he's Andy Morgan. I haven't turned his mic on yet, but he is Andy Morgan. It is the For the People movie show. You couldn't decide which end of the table, huh? We have a new studio, and it's fancy, and it's got this big conference room-like table, and Andy can now choose whether he wants to face the door or the wall. And yeah, that seat sinks. It's nice, but I welcome Mr. Movie Boy. How you doing?
I'm good.
It's
that's what Dan McKay calls me. No, he doesn't call me that.
Boy.
He calls me other things.
You two have this love-hate thing going on.
I mean, who doesn't? I mean, also with me.
And Andy is loosely associated through mutual friends with a state senator, and they argue online, and it's hilarious. And
He actually doesn't argue with me.
that's right. He sort of ignores you, but
he's like, bro,
but
why
you
can't
know
you?
He sees your commentary.
Why can't you join the Cybertruck gang with me and old Manhatva?
Manhatva. Go shout at some teenagers on bikes.
You know, I noticed something. Did you ever notice that, like, the loudest, like, these dweebs with beards, right? That, like, if you go back into, like, their formative years, like, they have these, like, really, like, tiny little chins. But they've realized they can't be ferocious.
On a related note, I've noticed if someone is shouting all the time online about how alpha they are, or in person,
Yeah.
they're not.
Well, especially when you're wearing white boots and skinny jeans. So.
In fact, I've decided that if anyone even says the word alpha in regular conversation, they are the opposite. And that almost always proves to be the case.
I like the ones that take your profile picture and then they, like, post it back to you and they go, okay, bro. And you're like, yeah, I know what I look like.
I willingly put that out there myself.
I put my picture there, like you're like, oh no, is that what I look like?
Hey, that reminds me. I have a question along these. Well, actually, I won't ask that yet. That's a whole conversation.
Dude, can we just talk about how it's almost the end of summer too?
Yeah,
we've made how many? This is our let's
on the calendar. Summer goes to September
20th.
20th, right? Okay, but
yeah,
summer movie season is over at
pretty much.
Labor Day, right? Isn't that how
I think
it works?
was over after Romulus. But can we talk about something though? Let's talk about this. We started this movie show in March of 2008.
Yeah,
right.
Long time ago.
And it was, it started out as like a little tiny 2-minute to 10-minute kind of segment. And
yeah, you were just going to call in, I think, at first, right? You were just going to call.
I was just going to pop in,
quick review,
tell and now we've been going. I mean, if we can keep this up for another 4 years, you and I have been doing this for 20 years.
It's a while.
When we met, we were movie boys.
That I haven't run out of energy to rant about.
Now we're movie gramps. Movie gramps. Anyway,
doing it to the kids these days.
But I've also seen it in Utah as well, because like our Film Critics Society when I joined was probably 6 or 7 people.
Yeah,
and now it's like 23, 24, way more diverse.
Yeah,
still haven't got one of those. Never mind.
I know what you were gonna say. Speaking of,
we're still all white, unfortunately.
Did you see?
I don't mean that. I mean that seriously.
It's
like
not that kind of diversity you're talking about.
I'm not saying like. I'm just
you're
saying.
Talking about you've got an Independence Day fan, you've got a Star Wars fan, you've got a.
But I'm being serious.
All nerds, but
it started out that everybody in the Film Critics Society, except for maybe 1 or 2 people, were white LDS males, right?
Yeah. And there's several women now.
Well, yeah, we've got a lot of women. We've got, it's just the diversity's high, but I think also reflecting Utah, we are as white as it comes in terms of our group. So that's something we're actually working on.
A lot of thumbs up for Green Book. when that movie came
You know
around.
what's
Is that
actually
you're
funny?
saying?
There was a group of people that I will not say unnamed, an older group that were like, Green Book, yeah.
That's people who don't get the reference on that. Green Book has become a bit of an
It's
internet.
like The Blind Side.
Yeah, it's an internet joke because the movie is it's called a white savior complex, where like civil rights were achieved because of one brave white man, which is not at all historically accurate.
No,
there's a lot of people willing to get fire hosed and have German shepherds chew on them on bridges in Georgia and things like that. But for years, then they make a movie where it's this one brave white guy is the. But
it's the white savior thing.
Well,
I mean, let's be honest, it's a real thing.
So Green Book has kind of become the internet meme reference when you're making that commentary, when you're saying, "Oh,"
and it's not a bad movie,
rewriting history, but no, it's a great movie. It's just, but it does do that.
Well, and I don't know if I'd go. You know what I mean? It's just.
While we're on the topic of ahistorical,
I know where you're going.
I've whittled it down so it won't take up the whole show, but I'm so angry about this Reagan movie, and it's not for why anyone would suspect. I'm angry about this movie, and I'm going to tell everyone. I mean, you can go see it if you want. It's not going to. If you keep in mind that it is what I'm about to say. So here's my problem with this Reagan movie, and why I'm not necessarily advocating for people not to go see it. Because I'll tell you this, Dennis Quaid's a good actor.
He's kind of a nut job, though.
Oh, yeah, he's a little wonky,
I'm telling you,
he's a good actor.
It's the same thing with Randy Quaid. Same thing.
I was wondering if it might be the genes.
I don't think it's genes. I just think, I'm sorry, I'm going to say this. Look at Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah.
Same way. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And here's the thing. It's one thing to just say, I don't agree with that, or I don't like this movie or whatever.
Richard Dreyfuss has gone to the point of being a jerk.
Yeah, it's another thing to be like, anyway.
Dennis Quaid's, I think he does a actual great job in this movie as an actor. And I've always thought he was a good actor. But, so here's my problem with it. It is, they have taken this Reagan worship to a point that it becomes in this movie cartoonish and silly.
Yeah, well,
yeah. And what bugs me about that is two things. I love fictionalized biopic movies of historical figures. I love it.
I agree. It's a great way to learn history for those that,
But what's so frustrating about this is Reagan's story, the story they are pretending to tell with this movie.
Yeah.
The reality is very interesting and would make a great movie. Why change it to turn him into like this Marvel superhero?
Yeah.
I mean, it's beyond me, because the actual story is fascinating. How he got into politics in the first place is kind of where this movie starts. But it starts with this. So you've got John Voight doing this literally Rocky and Bullwinkle Russian accent. Bad.
Can we also talk about? Let's just call a spade here. This is a movie that is produced by a group of people that is like, yeah, Trump, let's go.
Yeah, well,
This is not like what people would call liberal Hollywood.
The writer said they were trying to bring Reagan into the Trump era, basically. It was a stated goal of the writer.
Yeah.
But, and I'm okay. Like, fine, I'll still go see that movie and see how you did that or whatever. But the way they do it, they take Reagan's speechwriter, they basically give her half credit for ending the Cold War, which actually Bush Sr. did after Reagan. But again, my problem here is... And it's not just this movie. It's a problem with this in general.
It's like a puff piece.
When the actual reality is fascinating and would make a great movie. Reagan's story would make a great action movie in a lot of ways. You could tell his story without any of this silly, fabrication of events that happens in this movie. It was so frustrating. I was hoping for a movie that actually told the real story, because it's Reagan is a fascinating character in American history.
And my question is to your point, like, I wonder, like, when did the first JFK type movie come out where like the John F. Kennedy was, is it not enough time passed?
You just made my review so easy. This is like if there was a right-wing Oliver Stone making a JFK movie.
Well,
this is that.
Yeah, because let's be honest, we don't talk
this
about
Reagan movie because Oliver Stone made that. Okay, here are conspiracy theorists on the left. Here's the story you want it to be about.
It's a romantic story, right? Like there's so much romanticism involved in the Camelot story, and we know that so much of that is untrue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we know
It's
that
actually kind of a creepy theory.
yeah,
in American
we know
politics.
that the Kennedys. I don't know much about Bobby, but we know that in terms of John F. Kennedy and Ted Kennedy, that there's a lot of problematic events.
He killed someone and got away with it. I mean, there is no other way to say it.
Also, the Ray Lewis story.
What a time in American politics that must have been.
Right.
That you could cause a person's death.
Right.
And get away with it.
Yeah.
And
there's a movie that got brushed over, that Chappaquiddick back in, I think, 2017, 2018?
Yeah.
With one of the dudes from...
oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Anyway.
See, now that's a great example,
I think it's probably because it had Ed Helms in it, and people were like, wait, what?
But that's an example. Chappaquiddick is an example that you could make a right-leaning, politically right-leaning movie and do it well. It's not.
You're always going to make someone mad when you're making a movie about someone's hero.
And I know Reagan, for a lot of people, is polarizing from his policy and stuff like that. Some people on the left won't acknowledge even that he's a remarkable historical figure, which is silly. And some people on the right won't acknowledge that he was also very flawed. As a president, at least, in how he went about things, Ollie North and that whole scandal. So, but no politician or political figure in politics is perfect, ever. And anyone who thinks they are is delusional. But Reagan was just, I don't know, his rise to the governorship and then to the presidency, the fact that he becomes this American hero of sorts, despite, I mean, to be honest with you, not really doing anything that remarkable. Some have argued that Nixon, before nearly being impeached but resigning first, actually achieved more as a Republican president, and I think that's kind of true. But Reagan is the one that ends up being, this hero for the Republican Party, the modern, equivalent of a celebrity in politics, and how that happens and why that happens, and the fact that Reagan didn't try to manufacture that, it sort of just happened to him. I don't know. It's a fascinating story. I was really disappointed to see these filmmakers instead opt for, revising history to. You don't need to do that with Reagan. You can tell Reagan's story and be honest to him as a historical figure, as a president, and still make it an exciting, interesting movie that is going to make those who worship him happy and those who hated him happy. You can do all of that in a movie and tell the truth, and it would be so great. And no one's yet made that movie, and instead we got this drivel, which, by the way, is already gone from theaters in Logan, Utah. If you want any evidence that I'm not alone in sending this movie up, it lasted a week in Utah. It was that bad. And poor Dennis Quaid, because he really is a good actor. Anyway, there's my Reagan review. It's already gone, but if it was still here, I would say don't go see it. On the other side, a few more to get to in our fall movie preview part 2 with Andy Morgan here in the studio right after this.
News Talk 610 AM, 102.1 FM, KVNU.
Get ready for the 2024 Top of Utah Parade of Homes, presented by Willow Lakes. Explore stunning custom-built homes, showcasing exquisite design and architecture. September 12th through the 14th and the 19th through the 21st. Platinum sponsors Burton Lumber and Remax Peaks invite you to experience Cache Valley and Bear Lake's finest living. Mark your calendars to be inspired by these beautiful homes. Get tickets at Bank of Utah and USU Credit Union or online at topofutahparadeofhomes.com. That's topofutahparadeofhomes.com. paradeofhomes.com.
Attention craft beer lovers. Prodigy Brewing is excited to announce their Community Craft Beer Fest on Sunday, September 22nd at Mount Naomi Farms in Hyde Park. Enjoy an afternoon filled with delicious craft beer, mouth-watering food, fantastic live music, games, and more. Come for the beer and stay for the fun. With local vendors, great entertainment, there's something for everyone at the Community Craft Beer Fest. For more information on tickets, visit Prodigy Brewing's Facebook page and mark your calendars for Sunday, September 22nd at Mount Naomi Farms from 12 to 5.
This is Jay with Daryl's Appliance. Here are the top 3 reasons to buy from Daryl's. Number 1, Daryl's has the best pricing and save more with exclusive mail-in rebates up to $600 extra. Number 2, introducing a 2-year parts and labor warranty on all appliances when delivered and installed by us. That's security. Number 3, if something goes wrong, Daryl's factory-trained in-house techs service everything we sell. From the service of the sale and install, Daryl's Appliance does it all. Daryl's, west on Airport Road, open until 6 p.m. on weekdays, 5 on Saturday.
At Truck Ranch, our goal is to find you the perfect truck. Hear what customers are saying about Truck Ranch. Just tell us real quick why you chose Truck Ranch.
Well, I had a friend who bought a truck here. I've been looking for a truck. They had a few trucks I really liked, but, they weren't pushy. I would just say they were helpful, really.
Tell us about your truck.
This is a Ford Super Duty. I went with this because I really like how Truck Ranch upgraded it with the wheels and tires. I wanted the 10-speed diesel, and so, yeah.
So you recommend Truck Ranch?
Oh, definitely. They made it so easy.
Better service, better prices, better trucks. TruckRanch.com.
Today's hearing aid technology can improve not only your life, but the lives of the people who care about you. Once again, you'll be able to hear the reason for their laughter and understand conversations. Dr. Paul Danes will customize a hearing improvement program to meet your unique requirements, whatever they are. Call Dr. Danes for an appointment at 753-HERE and let him show you how.
Bring back what you've been missing. Bring back Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology.
There is no place like home, and there's no better place to spruce up your home than with great remodeling ideas at the Logan Home Show. Here this weekend at the Cache County Event Center. From home automation, security, and remodeling and design, the Logan Home Show has what you need, and they have it all under one roof. This weekend at the Cache County Event Center. Free admission and parking. See more online at LoganHomeshow.com. That's LoganHomeshow.com. We'll see you there.
That is our time for today. Thank you for tuning in. Please be with us next week for another episode of the For the People Movie Show. We'll do Fall Movie Preview Part 3. Talk about FX's Old Man with Jeff Bridges premiering tonight. A classic action western, it looks like. And Will Ferrell's Will and Harper hitting theaters soon. We'll talk about it all next Friday at 5 on the For the People Movie Show. Dave Ramsey is next here on KVNU.